Hi, my name is Dominic Martin,
Hello, I'm Nicola.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex.
and welcome to
Before you say I do.
Before you say I do.
Before You Say I Do.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to our series Before You Say I Do. And we have been having a fantastic series loaded with information and joy. I have been soaking it in. I know you have been soaking it in. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. And let me tell you, go back and listen to all the videos on Before You Say I Do. Today we are talking about dating. Now, in our last video, we spoke a little bit about courtship, but I want to really focus on dating today. So, what do I need to know about dating? Is there a difference in dating and courtship? And what do I need to know about that? Let's start with you, Pastor Martin.
Thanks a lot. Very interesting topic, and you will find that on any platform, especially the Christian platform, where dating and even courtship is concerned, persons will have different views and even different definitions in terms of what they believe it should be, right? But in terms of dating, uh, my understanding or my view on such a process is really basically getting to know someone. We're not going in deep, we're not going in emotional, but you're really looking at, I would say, basic stuff that you're looking for in an individual. And that is what you're looking at when you interact with this individual. Why? Because you may not have the opportunity to be in the same space with that individual on a regular basis. So dating now gives you that privilege to see them, to look at their mannerisms and to observe them and say whether or not you want to pursue a courtship with this person. So it is very, I would like to say, geographical in nature. We're looking at some surface level stuff, basic surface level stuff, in which you see, all right, I could now go a next level further with this individual.
Lovely. Now I want this to be really a conversation among all three of us, really. Although I'll mainly be asking questions, but you could just feel free to just pop in like you'll be the last time. No, I'm no strangers. So Alex, what's your view on dating?
Um, my view on dating is a bit out there. I'll say that first and foremost, it's a bit out there. Um, I believe dating well. Definitely, dating is a period of time where you get to know people and you get to know you get to see people for who they are, basically, to see whether they have any, whether you have any interest in the person, whether you like the way the person deal with different situations and their character and so on and so forth. But where I am a bit out there is that I seriously believe that it's not always the best thing to date one person. Because how would you know what you really want? How would you know if that one person has that the qualities that you really, to me, you really have like a wide variety to choose from. Get to know what you will be comfortable with. So sometimes you might go into dating thinking like, um I really like peaches and cream, but along the way you really realize that it's not really peaches and cream that you do like. You like something else. I'm just putting it in food because by now you probably know that I like food. I talk about chocolate. I talk about everything else. I like food, so I put it in simple terms, in food. So you, along the way, you just might find out that really, really, actually, you really don't like peaches and cream. So I think dating, you should be able to date several people with knowing that the dating that I am talking about, I'm not talking about any sexual activity. It's a no sex dating. You getting to know people, no sex. So to some people, they believe like dating, there's some sexual activity. For me, dating, no sexual activity, but you get to date a wider range, like larger amount until where you would have brought it down to one person that you would want to further that thing, want to go into courtship, into
It's like
want
a
to
process of elimination then.
something so.
Alrighty. I love that. I love the view. It's very it's not popular to say the least. It's not popular. I want to talk more about that whole dating thing. And both you and Pastor Martin spoke about like doing just getting to know the person. Pastor Martin said on a surface level, you said get to know the character and no sexual activities involved. What what's what the what's allowed? What's allowed in dating? I mean, like, if I'm out there, I'm a young person because I remember when I was a bit younger, because I'm still very young. But I remember when I was a bit younger, and of course, I felt like I was, ready for marriage, ready for all of that relationship and stuff. I felt like I could have just, explore my boundaries. So, and I think that's true for a lot of young people. What would you say are the boundaries in dating? And that is, of course, you've mentioned no sexual activities, but then what would be, are there safe places to go on dates? What would be recommended? Let's start with you, Alex, and then we're going to go to Pastor Martin.
For me, I believe it would be best to date in to go out in groups. Go out in groups and open spaces. Like you have sufficient privacy, but you don't have too much privacy where your mind could go, or your mind, or you would just go wild. Your mind would just go wild where you would start petting and all those types of things. So go out in groups and enjoy yourself. Get to know each other. See each other in like to me. I just feel like you should get to be around a person in a like in a setting where you would see the person real character come out. You'd see the person, how the person um handle frustration, handle anger, different things that may affect a relationship later on. um like the last session we had, where um Sister Lydia spoke about popping in and out, going to the person's home, but remembering that do not go there when it's just the two of y'all. You need to go there when there's people around. You want to see how the person, just basically the things that a friend would do. To me, that's basically what you there. You like a friend, but you're just observing. You all are just observing each other, having fun yet observing each other.
Lovely. Thank you. So you're saying to go to public places, and let me tell you, I'm just gonna be very honest right now. There are a lot of things that can be done in public places. Huh? I'm just saying, I'm just saying there are a lot of things that could be done in public places if I wanted to do something. So I want to touch you. I want this conversation to be a bit deeper. Um, what more? I'm a young person, and more specifically, we're speaking to young believers. Let's say we're speaking to young believers, and just young people on the whole, because I think young people should hold themselves to a certain level. What more could you tell me, Pastor Martin?
I really like that point you made, Nekla, because sometimes we throw these points as if they are bulletproof, right? Um, as if the environment itself will prevent the act, and not really the intent of the people. Because you could, whatever you want to make happen, you'll make it happen. What is important is that we be intentional in everything that we do. And that is what will make the difference. Of course, the contingency plans are going to help, but you really have to be intentional in everything that you do. And as a social worker, I'm speaking from a social work side, dealing with young people, even if the parents home, if you want to make it happen, it is going to happen, right? So I would say be intentional. One. Two, the moment the individual, this young person starts to date, it is because you are ready to step on that road for marriage. Right? Dating for the believer is different from the abstract leisure activity that the general individual looks at dating and conduct themselves in dating. But the believer, that young person or that young person who is in Christ, you are actually saying that, listen, I'm ready for marriage and I'm looking now with God's help to see the prospects that there are out there. All right? So you are intentional. Dating, I would say dating is not even, you're not even in a relationship. You're basically looking now for prospects, and you're even intentional with those prospects, because you're not just going to date every and everybody that come and talk to you, but you have seen something in these specific individuals, and then you say, okay, let me get to look at them on a different level. Right? So once you're intentional and both persons are aware of their boundaries, you have to know your boundaries. And once you are aware of that, then you could now work with the other contingencies and interventions to minimize the risk of anything happening as you all try to do dating and courting the Christian way.
Lovely. I like how you spoke of boundaries, and for many people that could be many different things. If we're going to look at dating, and most people, especially in the Christian world, they will be like, stay away from fornication. That's like your the thing, the go-to thing. Stay away from fornication. But then, like I was saying earlier, there are lots of there's a lot in between fornication in terms of the act like that most people refer to, and that too would depend on your definition of fornication. And so there's a lot between sex and nothing. And some people, even in dating, they feel it's okay to explore those boundaries and like, well, I'm not having sex, but we're getting to know each other. We're heavily petting, we're kissing and whatnot. And Alex touched on that in terms of staying away from kissing and petting. Jump in, Pastor Martin.
Yeah, let me jump in here because I'm passionate about this one, especially as we talk about forming long-lasting relationships. I like to tell persons, if you are looking for a long-lasting relationship, it must be built on something up here: mental, emotional, rather than physical. Right? The physical aspects of it only clouds. It only clouds your judgment in terms of what you should really be looking at in that individual. Right? One psychologist says that two personalities are like two chemicals mixing. Once you mix that together, they cannot be unmixed. So when you engage too soon into an emotional and even physical mixture with someone, you continue, if that doesn't work out, you continue to carry on a piece of that individual, a piece of that baggage, a piece of that hurt, a piece of that disappointment with you into your other relationship. And that is where we have so many things that people have to break down before they get into a relationship. And sometimes they get into relationships and they meet a really good person and it doesn't work because they have too much mixed stuff within them that they were unable to break from. So really we can't look at what the world says love looks like, because even when we look at what they say it looks like, it's full with a lot of heartbreak, a lot of hurt, and they make it look like it's hard for two people to really be faithful and monogamous with each other. The world is telling you relationship mean that you must undergo a series of someone cheating on you and I'm still holding down, that is my ride or die, and these type of things, right? So they make it look like men and women are unable to stay faithful to each other, and we need to change that narrative. We need to flip the script on that.
Agreed, most definitely. I was having this conversation, and I would like your view on it. It's along the same lines. I was speaking with a friend of mine, and he's like, "I'm not picky, but..." So I interjected. I'm like, "Well, I'm picky." So I said, "I'm picky because this is somebody I'm about to spend the rest of my life with. If I'm not gonna be picky over that, then what am I gonna be picky over?" So then most people, they're like, "Don't be too picky. You have to give people a chance." Where do I draw the line on how do I balance being picky and giving people a fair shot and whatnot? And I'm just gonna come out right now and say I am very picky. I am gonna be very picky. Let me hear your view on it.
Let me jump in on that one very quickly. Let me jump in.
Go ahead,
Um,
Alex.
for me, I see no problem in you being picky, because you being picky means that you set a bar that whichever partner that you choose has to come by. You see that the reason the minute you lower that bar, you end up getting something that you really did not want. For example, you said that I want a man, a swimming. I want a man with charming looks, and I want a man who could speak and whatever. You lower that bar so much, you never, like, you end up meeting somebody. Yes, he's charming, yes, he's a good provider and all those things, but you lowered your bar just an inch, and you end up meeting a man who uses a lot of obscenities, and then like you like, but that's not what I wanted. But since it's too late, you don't lower your bar already. You bring it down already. So you get a jabber sack. Sorry, you get a jabber sack. That's what you wanted. You wanted whatever it is that you really want. Leave it. The right guy would meet the requirements. There is no need for you to bring down your bar to something that you really don't want, because at the end of the day, you're really not going to want it anyways. Why would you want somebody, you want all those things, but you're going to bargain on a respectful man? Would you like a man who would be disrespecting you, cursing you in public and all them kind of things? No. So why would you bring down your bar for anybody? Whatever it is that you want, stick to it. The right man would meet that bar.
All right, now I love the point that you're making, but
You
you know I
don't
like
want
to
to get
be
Alex started, eh?
real. I like to be real. I like to, and I like that. I appreciate your point. It's very true. But I like to be real. And let's talk about the issues that we face as young people. Here I am. I am I am somebody, I am young, I'm trying to hold myself, to a standard and whatnot. And I have this expectation, and I'm using the word expectation loosely, in terms of who I want, what I want in a spouse. Let's talk about compromise. What are the things that I could compromise on, and what are the things that shouldn't be shakeable? Because you said don't bring down my bar, but what should my bar consist of? Let's say your take on it, Pastor Matt.
I like this one, and I think this might need to be an entire topic or conversation on its own, where we look at the difference between holding a standard and being unrealistic, right? Because we have some persons with unrealistic expectations, and they say that, listen, this is my standard, and then they want to know, listen, why am I not finding someone? And then they pacify themselves by saying, well, people not willing to step up to the plate. No, it's because your expectations are unrealistic. So what we really need to do is look now at some standards that we may hold and some things that may just be unrealistic. And it would mean to say that this person have to really be honest with themselves, because the reality is a relationship and even marriage, it's going to expose some bad ways in all of us. That is what the marriage is going to do. It's going to expose some bad ways in all of us and push us really to see ourselves and work on ourselves. So from the jump, if you're not willing to grow with your partner, then you're already in trouble from the beginning. What you need, or what we should be looking for, is a partner that's willing to grow with us. So the two individuals need to be willing to work and grow on themselves, and then we could break now, or we could level up to those various expectations and standards that we have. But we need to ensure that there are certain baseline expectations that, of course, we would not budge on, but there are some that may be just unrealistic.
I love that. We're not going to stress on that too much. I think you're right. We should do an entire session on that, where we could go into more detail. I wanna move a little bit to the timeline in terms of how do I separate? How do I know when I've come to the end of my dating period and I'm moving into courtship? What would that look like? What would that consist of? Any of you could jump in as long as you.
Well, I'm big on conversation. So once you have deciphered, you have prayerfully spoken to God, and they say, okay, and you have that satisfaction within yourself. Because especially in terms of relationships, I'm one that believes as well that God gives us certain guidelines and principles, what to look for in a godly man and a godly woman. Because there are many marriages that people say, God, tell me you are my spouse, and it didn't work out, and they're ready to blame it on God. Do not put God in your bacchanal. God has given us guidelines and principles to work with, and once we follow it, we would be okay, right? So once you have looked at this person and they are a man or a woman of God, and you all are yoked on your various levels, then I believe you all should have a conversation. Listen, we have interest in each other. We are ready to, of course, marriage is our end goal. We are ready to step up to the next stage of the relationship, and you all engage in that. So set goals for yourself, set expectations, and have that conversation. Don't leave it up in the air. Okay, I feel we're in courtship now. No, the both of you have that conversation, and we set that, and we are moving to that next level.
Alrighty, I love that, Alex. I want to add a little bit on it, and then and talk about because I know you're one, Alex, who believes in it could be a long dating period as long as it's you believe
25
in
years.
20, 25 years, and I've already made it very clear that I am not in agreement with that. But maybe if you give us a good explanation, I'm willing to hear you out. um what would a dating period look like, and how do you move from a dating period? Because Pastor Martin just spoke about having a conversation. Should that conversation consist include how long the dating period should be? Alex?
For me, the dating period does not have, well, to me, you definitely have to see, like, hey, that's really what the person, the qualities of the person, the morals and everything of what the person's morals and everything. That's exactly what you're looking for. Um, After you recognize, well, hey, that's the one you're not spoken, like Pastor Martin said. Then the next stop would be courtship. But then if you're uncertain and you have not gotten approval from God, then I don't see any reason why. I really do not see any reason why you should rush into courtship and you're uncertain about somebody. There's no reason to rush into it. But then after you've gone through your period of dating and you for certain, well, that's the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, and you guys are courting, getting to know each other on a more serious level, moving into marriage. Then to me, I really don't feel like the courting period should be that long. I really don't think the courting period should be that long, because you've already seen the person at their worst, seen the person at their best, and you know exactly what you're getting into, and you've agreed to what you're getting into. So I don't really see the courting period should be long, but the dating period is all based on how clear or how certain you are that hey, you've seen somebody, you've seen the person, and that's the person you want. Or if you're not sure, it all depends. It all depends.
Alrighty, thank you so much. Now I have a question for the viewers, for my YouTube fam, my people, my people. I have a question just for you. And the question is it still relevant? Should a guy still ask your parents, your father, your spiritual leader, your pastor, for if you're a lady, should a guy still ask for your permission to date you? Or if you're a guy, do you think it's still important for you as a guy to ask for permission to date the lady that you're interested in? Put that in the comment section below. I would love to hear your take on it. Please guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Like this video, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.